Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Who Are You podcast. I'm Connor, one of your hosts, also sitting down with the wifey, Shannon Overbay over here as well. If this is your first time checking out the Who Are You podcast, make sure you guys give us a like, a subscribe, a follow on all the platforms, everything from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. You guys know where to find us nowadays. Check out the YouTube channel as well. We have DGen Bets, our sports betting podcast on there. It's been doing great. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything on there. It's going to be Who Are You podcast. And then today we're sitting down with a very, very, very special guest. I found him on social media. It's funny how, we're talking to so many people on this podcast and how kind of like lines cross where you just meet people. Today we're sitting down with Mr. Matt Schultz. Thank you for taking the time to be here today, my man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on. My name is Matt Schultz. Matt Writes Bops on all social medias. You can find me on streaming platforms at Matt Schultz. And that's about it. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Of course, man. Of course. And just to give a little backstory to the audience of how we kind of ended up connecting there, I saw a post of yours, and it was you talking about who you are. And I was like, perfect. I love it. And I've seen you on a couple other things. Like we were talking about the OG Sessions thing that they do. What's it called again?
The OG Sessions podcast and the Soundcheck Sessions.
Soundcheck Sessions. That's what it is. I saw you on there. I love the Shannon even commented on the you were wearing a shirt that the oranges that matched the top and the bottom. I thought that was sick. And then I saw that you posted the story about who you are, talking about opening for like Lupe Fiasco and what your music's about. And I was like, this is perfect, man. And you also brought up Vic from Metamorph Vic. Shout out to him, man. We had him on a couple months ago. And I just saw your story and I really enjoyed it. And to be honest, man, we made this work quick. I messaged you yesterday and you're here today.
Yeah, I was like, man, this is perfect. I'm off this week. I'm on vacation.
Yeah, man. So we were super excited to sit down with you today. And like I said, thank you for taking the time to come sit down. So to really get into it, obviously I was telling you a little bit more about what the show is going to be about. It's going to be learning about your life. And then obviously we get into your music and your other experiences. And obviously if you have any questions for me or Shannon, we are open books here. So the first thing I want to get into is where are you from, my man?
I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. I grew up in Orlando. I've been here in Jacksonville for about 10 years. Moved around Florida a lot, but we'll just say Florida.
Yeah. Are you a sports fan at all?
I played basketball growing up.
Hey, same, bro.
Not a lot of other sports, no.
Nothing wrong with that. What position do you play in basketball?
I started when I was in middle school as a center because I was humongous.
Okay.
I got into high school and was like, oh my God, you guys are tall. And they moved me to point guard. So.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. I played ball growing up myself as well. Did the Police Athletic League, AAU ball and everything as well. And I think sports are fun, bro. I think it's a good thing to do. And, you meet people through doing it. You learn how to, try to take care of yourself or also just learning how to work with other people, which I think is a very important skill as we're adults now.
100%.
Yeah, man. So obviously you said you grew up, you said you were from Tallahassee, lived in Orlando for a little while, and then came to Jacksonville. Yeah. So what made you kind of move around so much?
I mean, a lot of it was early life, my family.
Mm-hmm.
My mom moved around a lot. We didn't stay in one place too long. It was like rent here, move here, rent here, move here. And the first piece of solidified land that I had was my sister's dad. When I was in middle school, I moved in with him, and we stayed in Orlando for then until I graduated high school. Wow. And then, again, my mom moved, so I was like, I'm out.
I understand, man. And what was the family dynamic like? Mom and dad both in the house, or mostly just your mom? How'd that kind of whole go?
Mom growing up, dad completely out of the picture.
Gotcha.
He's a little meffed up. You know what I mean?
Hey, I understand. I understand.
He's on the panhandle somewhere doing things. Shout out Kyle, man.
Yeah.
But it was just mom, and then we had my sister's dad who adopted me when I was like 9. He was around for a good little while. He around the time that he adopted me, about 6 months later, found out he was cheating on my mom, so he left. So still kept in touch with him though, because at that point he's my dad,
a father figure in your life. Yeah.
So with him, and my sister, we'd go over every other weekend, visit him. Eventually, I was just tired of living with my mom's situation with my stepdad. Very, very, and I apologize, I'm super candid. So like,
you're good, bro.
Anything is like too graphic, cut it out.
We've talked about everything on here. Go for it.
Stepdad, super, super abusive.
Gotcha.
Beat the shit out of me. So like, around that time, I basically moved out, went to my sister's dad's house, and was like, hey, you're the lesser of two evils here.
Yeah.
And spent the rest of my middle school and high school years kind of over there.
Gotcha, man. And like I said, there's nothing too candid, bro. Feel free to speak freely, man. We've talked to people who have seen people die in front of them, family members, all that kind of stuff, and we want to paint that full picture to get to know who you are. 100%.
Did your sister live with her dad as well, or?
Oh no, so she lived with my mom as well, and we'd just go over there every other weekend. And
Okay.
then when I moved out, she stayed with my mom. Stepdad had never laid a hand on either of them. It was
Yeah.
that stereotypical, like
Women.
I'm turning you into a man. I'm making you tough kind of thing.
The tough, the tough love, I guess, as you would try to say.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I understand it. Especially growing up, I've seen people who go through that situation. Me myself never had that situation, but I feel for you, bro. But I feel like just like with everybody who sat in that chair, right? It's how you are who you are today, right?
Exactly.
So, getting into your lifestyle and everything as you were younger, what were your interests growing up? Were you into obviously I saw your the Pokemon that you have on your chest on the chain, which is clean, by the way. Fucks with it. Kind of what were your interests growing up and all that kind of stuff?
Video games.
Okay.
Nothing but video games for a long, long time. First console I ever got was the GameCube.
Hey, the OG GameCube, bro.
GameCube.
I feel like it was kind of a sentimental prize for me. My sister was born in August, the year I turned 7. And then at 7, they got me a GameCube. Was like, all right, we're going to be spending a lot of time with your sister. She's a baby. This is going to be your dad and mom for a little while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was super cool. I love playing video games. Even to this day, like I stream on Twitch and everything like that.
Oh,
as well,
nice.
A little bit.
What's your Twitch?
It is Backpack Matt, BCK PCK Matt.
Hell yeah, man.
And, I play a lot of nostalgia games on there. I was playing Jack and Daxter for a little while there. Just classic like PlayStation games.
Nice,
stuff like
man.
that.
I was huge. I'm still a video game player. Unfortunately, as we were talking about, we're getting older. Friends are having kids and all that stuff now, so you lose the community as time goes on. But no, I was huge. I loved like Ratchet and Clank growing up on the PlayStation. Super fun game. I'm trying to think what else. The OG like Guitar Hero.
I used to play 007 on the GameCube.
007. Yeah, I used to love all the Sonic games on the GameCube as well. Yeah, man. And my dad, he worked with Microsoft for a little while, so I was lucky enough to go to some Microsoft events and go see some stuff.
That's super cool.
I remember when Destiny first came out. You remember that game?
Yeah.
That came out. I got to go play that in the actual Microsoft store back in the day when they had stores. A cool story for you. I have to tell this to people who are into the video game side of things. I got to play Madden on the Jumbotron at the Jack Stadium before.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude. I'm sitting in the Bud Zone right on top and basically just looking across the field playing Madden on there with some random guy beside me.
That's crazy.
It was. It's wild.
I think about that, and I think about like my little VCA like
Oh yeah.
12-inch TV that I had in my room that I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna beat Pokemon.
Bro, that was me too, man. I like growing up.
That's so cool, though.
I remember the heavy TVs that had the big old backs on them, man. Yeah, it's just just as time goes on and got to do some cool things. But video games for me are one of the best stress relievers because you can just hop on there, melt the pain in the ass of the day away. Because obviously everybody's going through something, but it's nice to just focus on something, to have fun, and not sit there and stress about what's going on throughout the day.
100%, bro.
What are your top 3 video games?
Oh man,
I know that's a hard question.
That is a hard question. I don't. Okay, so not in any specific order.
Okay.
But one of them is because it meant a lot to me, and nobody's going to know what this game is. I can almost guarantee you. But there was a Disney skateboarding game that was like Tony Hawk Pro Underground.
Really?
I know what you're talking
fucking
about.
Loved.
Really?
And weirdly enough, I had this friend, right? My friend was deaf, so he couldn't hear any of the music that was in it. But we used to play that game for like hours. And it was the only video game he liked. So like one of my best friends. So that game's up there. I don't remember the name of it. It was like Disney Pro Skater or something.
Okay,
right?
gotcha.
Pokemon Emerald, best
All right.
Pokemon game of all time. Anybody who says otherwise doesn't know Pokemon. And then, what was the blank? Oh, Ratchet and Clank. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
The second one.
Okay.
The second one's my favorite. I forget the actual name of it.
I do too.
They all had like puns and shit. It was like
Exactly.
up your arsenal, like.
Ratchet and Clank was fun, man. Like whenever I was younger, my mom and dad split when I was young, and then my mom remarried to my stepfather, and that was kind of like our coming together, right? There's a weird guy in your house, you don't know who that guy is, kind of thing, and then we kind of bonded through video games, and he's still in my life. We're really good friends, and obviously family members and everything. But no, dude, video games are a fun thing, especially back in like times are tough, right? It's good to have some kind of distraction.
Yeah, and that was me and my adoptive dad. He was the big video game nerd. When him and my mom first got together, he had a PS1, and I just remember watching him play like Final Fantasy on it, and watching him play made me want to play more. And I feel like that's why I like watching Twitch streamers now. I was like, even as a kid, I was like, this is so entertaining to just watch you play this video game, right? But when he got me the GameCube and everything like that, one of my favorite memories with him is on that GameCube, I had Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, which was the GameCube Legend of Zelda game There was a way to break that game that I didn't realize as a kid, that you could get to the last boss fight like right off rip.
Oh, really?
And I did that, and I was like 7 years old. So I'm like, I can't beat it, Dad. And he sits down and he tries for 4 hours to beat that game. And he's like, why can't I win? Oh. So he goes to GameStop. He buys the guide, the little guidebook that they used to have.
Throwbacks.
He takes it and he goes, how did you get here?
Yeah.
And he started the game over, and I showed him, and he's like, only you would find this like broken area of the game. I got straight to Ganondorf. Like,
that's freaking sweet, man.
Like, why do you have a wooden sword?
Yeah, I say you didn't get everything you needed, the shield and everything.
That's like one of my favorite memories with him.
That's hilarious, man. I love that. I say I've tried to get her to play a little bit. She likes Rocket League. I'll give her that. Yeah, but
I would rather put my head through a wall.
It is.
That game is so difficult.
It is difficult.
I think playing like
duos.
Person one in a shooting game is so much harder. I don't know if it's just my hand-eye coordination has gotten worse as I got older. Because like I said, I used to play 007. Yeah. Great at it. Kind of got out of video games, was doing more Wii stuff, and then met Connor, and he's on the Xbox all the time.
I'm a big Call of Duty guy. I've always loved Call of Duty, and unfortunately it has gone downhill over time. Yeah. But like during COVID time, dude,
that was my big stream game when I started streaming, man. It was where the viewership was at. Mm-hmm. And man, oh man, was I miserable. Because once you start building a fan base around it, if you get in a game with people that know your content and know that you play Call of Duty all day,
that's what they want to see.
They are like, you lost?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a pro. And I'm like, I'm a funny moments guy. Like, I want to jump off of this building and like 360 RPG you. I'm not trying to like go crazy. You know, so I completely understand. Call of Duty was my thing. Can't play it anymore. One, the community is far too toxic.
Yeah.
Everybody is just like, you get into a lobby, the mics are like, slur, slur, slur. And I'm like, mute. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. I remember the OG days back in like the early 2000s and like 2010s and stuff. Oh, you get on there, and obviously we can't say anything that they say in those chats, but it used to get aggressive in there. Bad. Or people would just sit there and just start screaming. There's always those people.
100%.
But dude, like the streaming side of things, it's crazy to see how much that has blown up, because whenever COVID happened, I was aware of streaming, but I never really sat down and watched it. But then I started watching like Nick Merckx, Tim the Tap Man. Obviously Ninja was big at that time with Fortnite. And it's crazy to see how much it's really blown up now. And now it's not even just video game streaming. There's IRL. There's, there's people who just walk around, Shannon, all day with someone following them around, just showing them what, like, you go into Subway, just life.
I couldn't imagine doing that. Like, I'm an outgoing person to an extent. I can never hop on a bus and have a phone out just like, hey guys, I'm on a bus.
No.
Like, what? That's insane to me.
Yeah, like I'm pretty extroverted as well. Like Shannon knows I have no problem walking up and shaking someone's hand or reaching out to people. But the whole part about being on camera, because just you say something, it sounds off, people take it the wrong way, even though it's not any way, shape, or form you meant to say it that way. And I feel like some of these guys, they put on an act, right? Not saying all of them. Some people, that's just who they are. And obviously, me and Shannon have sat here and done almost 200 episodes of this show. And most of our life that we've talked about, we pretty much put everything out here. We keep some things private, obviously. Gotta have some privacy in here. But I don't know how these guys do. Like Kai Cenat, the dude who does it for, I think he does like a streamathon that's like a month, a straight month.
It's insane. Like, you watch him sleep, and I'm like, I'm scared of people like hearing me snore.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way, right?
I can understand.
Because I'm like, I'm like full dad snoring.
I feel that. And are we okay to bring up your occupation? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was interested in, me and her were both talking. We're huge animal people, right? We love all animals. Funny story for you. When me and her first started dating, I told my parents at 18 years old, I was like, hey, I want a pig. They're like, you can't have a pig. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to have a pig. When I moved out, I got a pig. I got a little mini pig. Her name was Lulu. And here, where's my phone? It's my screensaver.
I'm so glad you didn't go. My mom had a pig, and its name was Waddles. So I'm so glad you picked like an actual name.
Well, it was gonna be Baconator if it was a boy. Yeah. So I will say that part. That was our pig. That was our pig back in the day.
My goodness.
She was super cool. She was litter box trained. She sleep in bed with us. Like, what we would do for the litter box part is we got a kiddie pool, like the little plastic ones. We put it inside of one of those playpens that you put puppies in, and then we filled it with wood chips.
And we cut a area so she could just walk right in.
Yeah.
Hey, that's commitment, man.
Yeah.
Like, people don't want to take care of a cat, and cats are super easy to take care of. I can only imagine trying to take care of a pig.
She was pretty good, man, to be honest with you. Like, she'd get into stuff, but if she ate a beer can and didn't need surgery or anything, she survived.
And a Christmas
crazy.
ornament.
And a Christmas ornament. Yeah, just
Tank.
iron stomachs, man.
Absolute tank.
But
Yeah.
she would like turn, she'd sit. She was trained and very
Oh, man.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah, she was
so cool.
She was super cool. Unfortunately, we had to give her away to because we ended up breaking a lease with a roommate at the time and all that kind of stuff. So I had to get that figured out. So she lives on a farm now, just chilling, doing her thing. A no-kill farm.
Yes.
For everybody, for everybody
That's
watching.
how my mom's pig is. She had
Yeah.
to get rid of it because just Jacksonville weather.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it was far too hot.
That's true.
at
It's
certain points.
it's hard for the pigs.
It's like up in Tennessee at a sanctuary or something
hey,
like that.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Vibing.
now
and-
we have an orange cat.
We do.
You do?
Yeah,
oh my
he's-
God, I love orange
He's,
cat.
he's chilling in the room. We put him in there while we do the interviews because he likes to run around and hop up and
That's
stuff.
fair.
But so, what is your position? You said you work in like a vet hospital, or
Yeah, so I'm a veterinary technician. My
Okay.
wife and I both are actually.
Oh,
at the
nice.
same hospital. I'm not going to say the hospital name.
no, you're
obviously,
good.
but
I understand.
both veterinary technicians. I started as a receptionist, customer service. I worked at Chick-fil-A, so like they always put me up front to talk to people.
My pleasure.
Yeah, dude, that is, oh my God. We'll get into that.
I understand.
Into your brain.
That is a whole like saga in my life. But yeah, we're both veterinary technicians now. And I have the scars to prove it. I'll actually show you guys. This is kind of hilarious.
I believe the scars, man. Some of these animals.
Is it mainly like
Malfunction.
house animals or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't work with any ferals really, unless there's people that come in with ferals. Dude, this is the worst that I've ever had.
Ooh.
Is this dot little scar right there?
Oh,
you see
my,
going down
It
there.
looks like
Yeah.
someone just ran down you, right?
Super docile cat, right?
You
Was
thought.
super nice.
Docile.
Yeah, it was super nice in the room. We go to take this cat out of the room, the carrier breaks, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just carry her back to the treatment area. It's like 20 feet, you know? Cat's being nice. It's nuzzling up on me. You know, they do that thing where they rub their mouth on you. I'm like, oh my God, you love me.
Yeah.
We get down the hall, and one of our doctors looks over and goes, is that cat nice? Like, why do you have it out of a cage? And I feel like she awakened something.
Yep.
And this cat was like, oh my God, I'm free. And just grabbed onto my arm, and I tossed her into the little treatment area, shut it. The person in there was like, what the hell? And I'm like, I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
Like, there's just blood running down my arm. And she was like, go clean that, please.
Yeah.
So, like,
No, man, that's understandable.
Manager.
it's
Yeah.
it's a hell of a job, man.
Yeah. Tell him about the one time we were in there and we heard Copper.
Oh my gosh. So Copper had a little situation whenever we first got him. You know how the Humane Society will fix the cats before you get them. So they didn't tell us we had to start with paper litter whenever that happens until it heals. So he got an infection, had a little abscess and everything that burst.
Not little. It was about
It was a
that
decent-
freaking big. Yeah.
So he had to have a tube put into him for a bit to drain the infection and everything. And when we took him to get it taken out, I guess they just pull it out, and we could hear him just screaming bloody murder in the back.
Can I tell you? I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna ease your mind a little bit as like pet mom and pet dad.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll numb the area first. It
Of
does
course.
not. It does not hurt.
They're just
as
freaked
much.
out.
They're freaked
It's
out.
just like, what's happening?
We have a Corgi Chihuahua mix that my wife and I have.
That's an interesting mix of a dog. Okay.
We take him to work with us because we cannot do his nails at home. So he'll scream, and our neighbors will think we're beating him.
That's crazy.
We take him to work. He does the same thing if we're in the room. If we leave the room, he's like, "Hey guys, I love you." You know, I just want to make my mom and my dad feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
me see
It's
if I
so
have a
funny
picture.
because
That's our boy.
Oh, he's cute, man. I love that.
Yeah, he's 14.
Really?
wow.
Nice,
Old
man.
boy.
Yeah, Copper just turned 5.
Oh, my
but
goodness.
it's so funny because I don't know if it's all cats, but he never wants to go in the carrier while we're here.
Yep.
And then we go to the vet, and he is
He's
the
like,
most.
"I wanna get in
Yeah,
there."
he's the calmest. This is my home. Don't touch me. But the vet, I had to take him in for them to look at his eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, just be careful. Like, he's weird around strangers. And they're like touching his eye, not in front of me, but they come back. They're like, yeah, he was just sitting there. He let me touch his eye and, moving around.
I tell people all the time they are frozen in fear.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and I always joke with owners that say they have angry cats around other people. I'm like, I would rather your cat freeze in fear
Yeah.
because
He's
if it
not
doesn't
angry.
freeze in fear, they're gonna like freak themselves out. Heart rate's gonna jump up. They're gonna beat the shit out of us, and then nothing's gonna get done.
Yeah.
So I'd almost rather us come back and surprise you that he was,
Yeah.
calm.
Who's harder to deal with, the animal or the animal's parent?
Oh,
It depends. So when I was a receptionist, the parents,
Yeah.
the owners,
I believe it.
dude, the amount of times that things are expensive.
Of course.
Everything's expensive nowadays. Vet care, not one of the cheapest things on the planet.
100%.
Insurance doesn't cover everything.
We know.
It's not, it's not like medical insurance for people where I can go get a tooth pulled and then get the medication for it. And it's like, oh, you owe me $35, because you pay your insurance. No, so we get them up to the front, and we recently started giving people an estimate in the back right away. Cause I'm like, I was an advocate for that.
Just cut it so you don't have to.
You guys need to do that because I keep getting yelled at.
Exactly.
And I'm the nicest person in the world up there. And I think that because I'm nice, they're like, I can yell at this guy.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm just holding it back, man.
Yeah.
Like, I need to pay my mortgage.
I got bills to pay too.
Exactly. So, like, up front, owners, 1,000,000%, they're the worst, especially the owners at our location. They are different. And that's how I'll say that.
I understood.
Just in the off chance that somebody sees something.
No, you're good, man. I
They
understand.
come into my hospital room, they're like, what did you say about me?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the back, dude, it's a mixture of the animals and the owners. A lot of times it's the animals, though, because they're just freaked out.
Is there certain like breed or like
Chihuahuas.
maybe? Yeah, I was gonna say some kind of little ankle biter has to be the pain in the ass, right?
Get them out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I'm like, I could punt you. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I could become a professional like punter for the NFL.
So as long as Chihuahua's mixed with a different type of dog, it's fine.
Yeah, well, as long as they're not assholes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our dog's just not an asshole.
I have met some nice Chihuahuas
Yeah,
in the past. So
100%.
like I was telling you before we started the pod, I do HVAC work. So like I go and fix people's ACs, clean them, do all that kind of stuff. And obviously I'm in people's homes. A lot of people have animals, right?
Yeah.
And like I've met a couple Chihuahuas. It's always the smaller dogs that are ankle biters. Like you walk in, they're nipping at your heels kind of thing. Before I did HVAC, I worked in pest control, and there was one day I did pest control and lawn care at this company. So like I would spray your lawn, make sure it grew ball. One day I go and I knock on the door. I'm like, hey man, I'm here. Just want to let you know I was here, but just before I walked around your house. And I go and open the back gate, and I had the earbuds in. I'm walking back to my truck. Yeah. And I grab what I was looking for, and I turn around, and at the opening of that gate is an all-black German Shepherd. I'm like, oh shit.
And that's a guard dog.
Staring him down.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh no. And then it runs at me.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no. Like this might hurt. Yeah. But thankfully the dog was super nice, just wanted to play with me and everything. But I was like, my hand might be gone here. The owner runs out, he's Russian, he's screaming in some kind of another language at the dog, and the dog turns around and runs back. But man, there's nothing scarier than seeing some of these animals. I'm sure you understand.
I've been bit by 4 dogs in my almost 2 years at this job. And one of them was a German Shepherd. It was an older one. It had lost like 80 pounds in 2 months. Like it was going downhill.
Poor buddy. Yeah.
So we went to put him on the scale, and when I like kind of nudged his butt, he reached around and gave me a warning. Like that's fair.
Yeah.
The other 3 were Chihuahuas and 2 Schnauzers. And,
Schnauzers, really?
Yeah, dude. And I love little dogs. My mom rescues dogs.
Oh, okay.
On a super side note, so that's kind of where the love of animals comes from. So one of her Chihuahuas recently passed, but she had 2 Chihuahuas. She had a Schnauzer, she has a terrier, she has like 8 pit bulls.
Oh,
like
wow.
I love me a good pity.
So side note, I would never punt a Chihuahua, by the way.
We understand.
Metaphorically speaking, though,
I could, but I'm not going to.
Yeah. For legal purpose.
Yeah.
Anyways, no. So like it's kind of varies, man. Like some dogs are just super, super temperamental, and it's just like people, right? Like you meet some people, they are just assholes just up front, and cool. At least I know you're an asshole.
Yep.
Some people are not assholes up front, and then all of a sudden you're getting punched in the face, and you're like, what did I do?
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lot of when you get bit or scratched by animals is, at this job is like, okay, you're chill, we're good, and then one thing happens, and they're like, that's the end,
Yeah, I mean, it's an animal. Unfortunately, obviously, this, so I'm telling you what you already know, but they can't speak to us. It would make life a lot easier if they could say, hey, this hurts, or hey, you're pissing me off, bud, kind of thing.
I always joke that, like, I wish I could reason with them that what we're doing is to help them.
Yeah.
That's, like, the biggest thing. When I go to the doctor and I have a shoulder injury and they're like, we're going to give you a shot of steroid in your ass.
Oof.
I'm like, okay, I can understand that that's going to help, though.
Yeah.
If I look at a dog and I'm like, we're going to stick this tube up you and we're going to get some samples from you, they don't care.
Exactly.
They're like, what are you doing?
You're like, that doesn't go there.
I always tell her, our cat Copper, he's a fat orange cat. He's a big boy, and we love him to death. And I always tell her, I'm like, he looks at me and he's like, I know he wants to say something. I'm like, just talk.
Yeah.
I know you know. And I always say he probably sounds like Morgan Freeman or something, like that real deep voice. But no, man. So when it came to like getting into that job, what kind of made you more go towards into that career? Obviously, you were talking about Chick-fil-A.
Oh my goodness,
that's our boy.
he's adorable.
Yeah. So leaving Chick-fil-A and going to the animal hospital. What made you kind of make that lane change?
So there's a lot of in between for those two. I've worked quite a few jobs. Quite honestly, I was out of work and I was on Indeed and I was like, apply.
Yeah, man.
Apply because things are rough, right?
I've been there, bro. 100%.
So the animal hospital is just the first people that called me back. And I was like, I was being kind of selective with what I was applying for. Like, I wasn't like, okay, I've never done this before. Apply. You know, it was like, I know I have customer service experience, at least with my mom's animals and other people's animals. They like me at least. So I'm like, cool. I can kind of leverage that, you know. I helped my mom with her at-home stuff anyways before I started working there, like nail trim, just little stuff that I can like, okay, I have experience at least handling some kind of animal, right? So they were the first people to hit me back, and that's just kind of where I've been. As far as like job history before that, man, it has been, one of our doctors always jokes with me because I'll be like, somebody will tell a story and I'm like, oh yeah, I worked at Sonic for like a month, and he's like, was that before or after you were a jet pilot in Vietnam? Like, because I just instead of the college route, I took I'm going to work as much as I can to figure out where I want to be, you know?
Bro, 100% feel you on that. Me and her are the same way, or I guess really mostly me. I would say I've been through everything, through being a general manager for restaurants. What else have I done? Like I said, pest control, lawn care. Now I'm in HVAC. Trying to think of really what else. I've really just kind of, I worked for a car wrapping company, like a salesman for a car wrapping company.
I'm turning the tables. What's your least favorite job you've had?
The car wrapping company. And
because you were a salesman and you hated being a salesman?
So that's the thing, man. So when it comes to sales stuff, I like it because I like people. And when it comes to, obviously, we're sitting here having a conversation. This is the first time we've ever met, right?
100%.
So I've been lucky enough where I've always been good with talking with people.
Yeah.
The more of the issue with that company is their product was dog shit. And I hope these people are watching.
Yeah.
And, they basically just tried to say that they were premium and charge you an extra like multiple thousands of dollars, saying they were the best and all this kind of stuff, but they had nothing to show behind it. And if things weren't moving, it's my fault, and blah, 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 blah. And me and her went on a cruise, and I ended up coming back, and they fired me without even, they just shot me an email. And I knew these people for years. So
that's insane.
Yeah, like that stuff. I mean, I've seen some gross stuff. When I did the pest control, this is a story I've told on a couple podcasts that kind of got blown up a little bit. So there was one day I went into a house. This is like my first couple weeks on the job, right? Yeah. And we deal with everything from ants, cockroaches, spiders, rats, possums, whatever the hell you could really think of, right? Pests. And I go to this house, and it's an old house, over 100 years old after the fact I learned this. And I go in the house, and the lady opens the door, and 4 rats run away. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait a second. These things are just out and about? So I do a normal inspection, go see kind of what I'm dealing with, right? Yeah. And it's one of those older houses, like I was saying. So the electrical plugs were on the baseboard of the house. And as I'm walking around, I see one's out, and I was like, oh, I'll just kick it back in with my boot real quick. And I do, and all you see is a rat arm coming from inside the wall. I'm like, no way, man. I'm like, no way am I seeing this.
IRL Tom and Jerry. That's crazy.
Yes, bro. And then this is the sad part. So there's children that live in this home, and a little girl walks up to me. Do you need more space on that?
No, you're good.
Okay. Good. Yeah. Little girl walks up to me, and she's like, can I tell you something? I was like, yeah, sweetie, what's up? And she's this tall, like real little, like 4, 5 years old. And she's like, they chew on my toes at night. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, they chew on my toes at night, and she shows
them chewing my toes. Yeah,
and she showed me her foot, and like damn near to the first knuckle was like chew marks and like missing pieces and stuff like that. So
stomping.
Yeah.
Like, I know I joked about the Chihuahua. This is not a joke.
100%.
I would stomp on a rat immediately. Like, it'd be done.
Yeah. So like with that, I have to report that. That's by law and like by what we do for our job. If you see stuff like that happening, you have to put that in your notes. So I put that in my notes. The rental company calls me and like, hey, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. 5 minutes later, DCPS is calling me, and I was like, yeah, it's true. Later to find out, rats made a nest in the couch of their house. There was thousands of them. They literally, I talked to my boss a little bit after that. They tore that house down. There's literally nothing, like just gasoline and a match is what you needed to do for that house. But
those calls are never fun, by the way.
No.
The DCF calls.
No. I felt bad because I don't want to take anybody from there.
We've been on the like receiving end of those calls.
I understand.
So, like, growing up, those calls are terrifying because mom gets them, and then we like they were usually like noise complaints from neighbors, whatever, you know. It was never for things that actually needed it for, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, no, nothing happened this time, but you know, the quiet parts are when you guys should be
yeah, that's when things are too quiet is when you should be questioning things.
So it's like I that's crazy, man.
Oh yeah.
Even going through what I went through, I could never imagine like living in a situation like that where literally just being chewed on like by rats. That's insane.
Yeah.
Eaten alive, pretty much.
Then that's disease too.
Oh yeah. Like that job taught me that my life is not that bad. You know, me and Shannon have gone through times where, you know, roommates moving out on us, not knowing how we're going to pay bills and getting stuff figured out, man. And me and her have a saying is we always say we'll figure it out even at the hardest times. 100%. But life is just hard, but it gave me a better perspective. And I there's still days where I feel like my life is terrible. I'm not doing the right things and all this stuff. And then I think back to certain situations. I'm like, okay. I'm like, things could be worse.
Okay.
Things could be worse.
We yesterday were like, I got paid yesterday, and my wife and I looked at each other because we get paid on the same day, obviously, and we were like, we have to live in the house another month.
100%, bro.
Like, that's where life is, and that's okay, you know? Because, like, one, I've been way worse off, and I'm like, this is way better than a park bench.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This is so much nicer, you know?
100%.
And I would rather be in this situation anyways. We got 6 animals. We're vibing. You know?
Hell yeah. You got 6 animals. What are the other animals?
So we have the Corgi Chihuahua mix, 14 years old. And then, so 4 of the animals were my wife's before we met each other.
Okay.
So she had the Corgi Chihuahua mix. She's had him since he was like 12 weeks old. Like she's had him forever.
That's cool.
We have an orange female cat named Bean.
Oh,
very
male
rare.
cat named Steve.
I love it.
And then a male black cat named Dipper.
Okay.
If anybody's a Gravity Falls fan, if you guys have ever seen that show,
I know the show you're talking
my wife
about.
loves that show, and she named him after the main character of that.
Okay.
That's funny.
When we got together and we moved in, kind of, I say by accident. She was moving out of a roommate situation, and the roommates had already moved out, and I just never left.
Yeah.
So, haha, you're trapped now.
Gotcha, ass.
Gotcha. Now you get to be happy forever.
Yep.
Haha.
That's right.
So we went to go to Disney for her nephew's birthday, who was turning 2 last year. And we had gotten into a conversation about like dream pets, dream dogs, da-da-da. She was like, I want a Rottweiler. And I'm like, well, we can't get that yet. You know, we have the cats and Dobby, the little Corgi Chihuahua mix.
That's the dog's name is Dobby. I love that.
His first toy ever was a sock, just so you guys know
That's
as well.
sick. I love that. She's not a Harry Potter fan. I am, so that
my
cracks
wife
me
is
up.
like super Harry Potter nerd.
Okay.
So we were talking about that. I was like, mine is a husky. We had a husky chow mix when I was like 9 for like a month and a half. She kept getting out. My mom and my sisters, they were tired of chasing her down the road. I thought it was fun as hell because I'm just like, woo, running, you know? So we got rid of her, and I was like, ever since then, that's been my dream dog. We come back from Disney the next morning. I'm walking Dobby, and I've got my glasses off. It's real early morning. I just see this wolf in the distance, and I'm like, okay. So I scoop him up, and I'm like, where is there a wolf out here? We're in Jacksonville. Like, what's happening? I go back out. This husky is sitting on our front porch looking at me like big, dumb blue eyes.
Yeah.
We still have her to this day.
Really? That's awesome,
She
man.
jumped right in our car, went to work with us. Like, she was so nice from the very beginning.
That's
So
freaking
loving.
cool.
She's the quietest husky that I've ever seen
I was
in my
about
life.
to say, does she talk to you a lot?
No, she doesn't howl. She doesn't bark. The most she does is she likes to play with the cats because she's like, she's so nice to all animals. Like, she doesn't have prey drive. Like, she goes outside, she sees a duck, she's like, friend.
Hello.
You know? So the most is if, specifically being the orange female cat, if she doesn't play with her, she'll get down real low and she'll go, ooh, like that. And just stare at her. And then do it again, and then bop her on the nose and run.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, you're so goofy. And then we rescued another cat from work. That got abandoned at our job.
That would be the dangerous thing with me, man, working at that. Because like I said, Shannon loves cats and dogs and everything, and I have such a soft spot for animals. I would be just like you. I have every animal I could think of.
And I told her, based on my mom, I'm like, 6 is our cap. Like, we're capped out. Because there was a little orange boy cat that got abandoned, and I was like, cool. Who are we trading out? And she was like, we can't trade anyone. I'm like, you're right. We can't take any more in as much as I want to.
You said you have an orange girl cat. Isn't that pretty rare? That's what she's always told me.
I had no idea until I met my wife that they were rare.
Yeah, I didn't know this either.
Yeah, so super sweet cat. Like, the sweetest cat I've ever met in my life. Literally, like, my wife calls her a soul cat. We'll go to sleep at night. She just lays on my wife's chest, and she purrs the loudest I've ever heard a cat purr too. She's just like, you know, and it's almost like having a noise machine in the room with us.
It's calming. There you go.
Dude, it is.
Yeah, I think having a girl orange cat is similar to having like a boy calico cat.
Yeah, which again, I had no. When I got with my wife, we had a conversation where I was like, "Ooh, a gray cat," and she's like, "Actually, that's a dilute cat," and I'm like, "Shut up, nerd."
How'd you meet your wife?
We met through Tinder. Funny, you know what? I'll give the funny story because, and she's gonna hate this. We met through Tinder, and I messaged her, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Matt. Wow, you know, da 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 da. We're having this great conversation. You're really pretty. Da da da. We should go out sometime. I just gotta have a breakup. I just gotta have a breakup too. Cool. We'll wait." Ghosts me. Ghosts me for like a month. She doesn't even remember ghosting me.
Wow.
Month later, I'm on Bumble. And if you know anything about Bumble, the woman has to message first.
That's right, yeah.
So she messages me and she goes, "Hi, I'm Joe. It's nice to meet you." And I'm like, I'll play the long game on this. So I just start over with her.
Yeah.
We have the same conversations for like a month and a half. We finally meet up, and I was like, "We matched on Tinder."
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, we didn't." I pull up the messages, and she's like, "Oh my God."
Oh my
Damn.
Like, still to this day, I mess with her about it a little bit. I'm like, "Man, if only you had ghosted me twice, I wouldn't be here right now."
But hey, at least she did match with you twice.
100%, yeah.
I love that. Well, since we're sharing stories, I'll share our story.
Oh my gosh.
She already knows what story's coming up. So the first time I ever
We met at Five Guys when he took over my store.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what she says. So I remember the first time I saw her, she came into my store. I used to work at the Beach and Hodges Five Guys, a little bit away from us over here. And the manager that I got into a fight with was the dude that she came to see that day.
Nice.
And I was like, I remember I was just being jovial and nice. I think I was dating someone at this current time as well. Yeah. And I go and I asked her, I'm like, "Hey, you need anything?" She's like, "Oh, I'm looking for this person." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "Can I grab you anything while you're waiting?" She's like, "I will take cut up green peppers, please." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, no, I'm like,
nothing
of all the things,
yeah.
Five Guys.
I was like, sure.
Well, I worked at Five Guys.
That's fair.
So I was
Yeah.
like,
No,
But
100%.
still, that's an odd request. So that happens, and then she leaves and didn't think about it for a while. And then I come to the store, her store, and apparently my lore perceived me, and they knew a little bit about me before I even got over there. Yep. And then, you know, like I said, just talking shit and like hanging out and stuff. And she moved in 1 month into a dating kind of thing. But I always tell that story. I was like, it was like the first time I saw her, she was not interested in me.
Yeah. What he doesn't mention is when he walked into your store the second time, he saw the light come down and the
I was a gift from heaven.
I agree.
Oh my goodness.
But
That's
no,
so
man,
funny, dude.
I think it's just cool how life just ends up in a way, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like with doing the pod and stuff, man, that we've just met so many people that have either been just through social media or walking throughout, just Jacksonville. We try to go to Jacksonville events as much as possible. Obviously, work and life gets in the way.
No, of course. And then some events are just stupidly expensive. I loved opening for Lupe Fiasco.
I was about to bring that up.
I did not feel comfortable like inviting certain people out because I was like, tickets are like $54.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just wait for the videos. Like, it'll be okay. I'll tell you about it. I'll send like my mom specifically because she's like,
yeah.
We'll get into it when we get into the Lupe show. But like, I was like, you don't have to spend that money, Mom. Just stay home. That's okay.
She's like, I want to support.
Yeah, I'm like, support me from afar.
Yeah.
You know, that's like 2 tanks of gas.
Oh, 100%. So let's get into that, man. That was the thing I was kind of leading into here. So obviously Lupe Fiasco, big name.
Oh my
I would say
God.
been around and been making music for a long time now. So I guess let's start with how you got into music, and then we'll lead into the Lupe Fiasco, if that's all right.
So music in general, I started playing violin when I was in 5th grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom's always done music. She did marching band in high school. She played French horn.
Respect,
My grandma
okay.
played piano. Like,
Awesome.
I just come from kind of a musical family.
I like that.
And I started with violin because it was the only instrument available to me in 5th grade. And they were like, cool, we have this guy that's going to come in every 2 weeks and teach you guys, you know? And we're going to give you school-owned instruments, da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
It was really accessible for us at the time being a low-income family, you know, because it was like $50 for the year
That's not bad. Okay.
while we were going to that school.
Okay.
So I continued playing in 6th grade. And then once I was done with 6th grade, I was like, orchestra's so boring. I was like, you know, and I'm like, this is such boring music. I expected like band-style music. but it just wasn't. It was more classical.
Where you could jam out actually,
Exactly.
kind of thing. Yeah.
So I was like, I want to play saxophone. So my 7th grade year, I went into the middle school I was at the time. I got kicked out of the previous one.
Gotcha.
But anyways,
it happens. It happens.
7th grade, going to this middle school, and I walk up to the band director, and I'm like, I want to play saxophone. And he's like, you're not going to play saxophone. He's like, you got to start with clarinet. And I'm like, cool. Because they're kind of family instruments.
Okay.
The clarinet is easier to play. And if you master that, then it's easier to transition to the saxophone.
Is it like not trying to be funny, is this like the way like your mouth works with it, or
That, and
like
then the
breath?
Notes,
Okay.
The notes are exactly the same, like as far as like the finger holes and everything like that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he was like, if you can master the clarinet, cool. He's like, we'll talk about it next year when you go into 8th grade.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, cool, I'm competitive as hell. That is like just ingrained in my soul.
Same.
So I was like, bet. So I learned all of the scales and everything like that by the end of the first semester. And I was like, test me.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And,
Final boss. I'm
yeah,
here.
exactly. So I went in, I did the scales test, passed. He was like, I'm impressed. Cool. We can start with saxophone. Which saxophone do you want to play? And I was like, there's different kinds.
I didn't know that either, to be honest with you. Yeah.
There's a few different kinds. There's soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, and bass saxophone.
And that's just the like, I don't know if you'd say frequency, but the sound of the actual
so like
instrument.
Soprano's like super high, and then
Okay.
bass obviously is like you
Yeah.
know? And I was like, cool, I want to play alto saxophone because that's the generic saxophone everyone knows.
Okay.
That's the one you see on TV. I was like, I'll be a cool guy playing that.
Yeah.
And turns out they didn't have any school-owned ones.
Oh.
Again, low-income family, we just couldn't afford to get one.
I understand.
They had a tenor saxophone, which is kind of the mid-ground of saxophones. And it was, again, like $50 a year. Excuse me. I fell in love with it. And I played it all the way through high school.
Nice, man.
Yeah. My favorite thing one of my favorite instruments I've ever played.
So you can read sheet music, is what you're saying, right?
Yes. I should still be able to.
Well, at that
I'm sure
at that time.
I'm sure if I sat down and I was like, I'm sure if you magically had a tenor saxophone right now and I fiddled around with it for a second, I'd be like, okay, cool, I'm back.
Wouldn't that be cool if I was walked in
Yeah,
there real quick,
you're
like,
like-
hey, bro?
You're like, I was very prepared. You're like Nardwar. Where he just
That would be
knows
wild.
everything.
He's like, how did you know this? You're you. I need to know this.
Yeah.
I love that.
But yeah, so I did that for a while. And when I got into high school, or I guess this kind of starts in elementary, middle school, but I started listening to rap music via my mom's husband at the time.
Okay.
The one that was abusive, which like, again, how all the things kind of work together, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mom was super into like, she's very young. She had me at 17.
Oh,
So
okay.
she listened to a lot of like alternative rock from the early 2000s. So I was
Oh,
on
I like that. Yeah.
Fall Out Boy, All American
Fuck
Reject,
yeah.
Green Day, Good Charlotte, stuff like that.
My style.
My stepdad was very like from New York, listened to like Busta Rhymes, Ludacris, like it was very the opposite side of things musically.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with it.
I bet.
And it was a song called Scenario by a Tribe Called Quest featuring Busta Rhymes.
Okay.
And it's, if you guys get the chance, take a look at it. It's goofy 90s music, but it's so good.
Yeah.
So I heard that song and that like made me fall in love with rap music. And I was
Nice.
probably like, I was like 8 or 9, maybe 10, somewhere around there. But I have a vivid memory. The first rap song I ever heard, which is why it's so crazy I opened for Lupe, was Lupe Fiasco Kick Push. I
Really?
was 8 years old and my mom was in her beat up blue Corolla.
Oh my god.
And I remember it because she was driving. I was in the back right side, like the passenger side. And the song starts playing, and it's off her little fat blue iPod she had at the
The
time.
days.
Yep.
Yep.
And it has this like DJ moving the bar because it was downloaded off LimeWire.
LimeWire, bro.
So, like,
Throwback. Yeah.
Like 8 years old. That was one of the first like rap songs that I heard that I was like, fuck, I love this.
Yeah.
Like, the feeling that this music gives me is different.
Yeah.
You know?
What were you going to say?
So you were talking about playing instruments.
Yeah.
When did you know that you could sing, or try to transition? I guess from that.
So I will always say I don't know how to sing. I just know how to hold a note every
Okay.
once in a while. But same question, rap, sing, same thing. I'd say just like rapping along to stuff when I was in like middle school and high school.
Yeah.
I kind of around sophomore to junior year of high school was like, I could write stuff, I think, maybe, So I started writing. I had saved up money for like 4 years from birthdays and Christmases and working little odd jobs around town at like thrift stores and stuff, and bought a Mac Mini.
Okay.
Back when they were like the OG Mac Minis that were humongous.
Yep.
And I started working out a garage band, producing beats in there. And just like,
Hell yeah, man.
they were they were like boom, like really, really bad. But
buddy, if you listen to my first couple of podcasts, man, of me, I trained myself through YouTube University. Thank God that was around 100%. And even to this day, I use Audacity. Audacity is my favorite audio program.
That was the first program I ever recorded on. I remember as a rapper recording vocals, and it was the first song I ever recorded over was 6 Foot 7 Foot by Lil Wayne.
Fuck yeah.
And I thought I was going to be so cool. So in Audacity, I don't know if you know, like, if it's still like this. So tell me if it is for sure. But when I went in there, it would be 2 tracks, and I'd put my beat on one, record my vocal. You would have to bounce that out, put that back in, record your dubs, bounce that out.
It's gotten better. I know what you're talking about. It's gotten better since then. Okay.
So by the end of it, it's this like muddied up mess.
Yeah.
It doesn't even sound good anymore, but you're like, I did it. So yeah, no, around like, I'd say first ever recording of something I wrote was probably 15 years old.
Nice, man.
Years old. So it's been, 15 years now. So
good for you, man. And the thing I really like, obviously, as we're sitting here talking, I do research before I sit down and talk with everybody, right? And checking over everything that you put out. I've seen some on Instagram. I found your TikTok and was looking around more on your TikTok side. What I like about your music is very lyrical, right? You're telling a story through, and it's not this I don't hate mumble rap. Like, I was a Kodak Black fan and all that kind of stuff, like, obviously during that time. But you were telling a story, and I saw that you had, like, Logic on there, and then, who was the other dude? Shannon, the one I was saying that your friend's a fan of. Russ. I saw you had Russ on, on
Russ
there.
Russ is a very big inspiration for me, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And Logic is actually the rapper I get compared most to.
Okay.
Just because the style and like da-da-da-da-da.
I like his style as well, and for him as well, he's very big on, like, we were talking about mental health and things like that before we started the show.
Yeah.
How he couldn't handle fame at first.
Yeah.
It freaked him out to have so much money in a bank account at one time. Like, I think he was talking about being on his basketball court, and I think he signed like a $30 million contract or something, and he said he had a panic attack sitting there. I would have a little bit of a different reaction. I'd probably scream, cry, other body orifices, things going on, but I would be pretty hyped. But
I would throw up on the contract.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
It's just like, I tell Shannon all this time, like, me and her are we're big football fans, right?
Yeah.
Huge Jaguars fan. Obviously, I'm sure you see all the sports stuff.
Yeah.
We have a sports betting podcast outside of this. And like, these dudes sign these $60 million contracts. I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah. I told somebody the other day, actually, the hat I'm wearing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Is a company I'm sponsored by. It's Get Cheese.
Okay.
And, like, it's a local fashion brand, but like their vision, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, cool, get money. And then he explained it to me, and it's get money, but can you keep your morals and your integrity intact while you're getting that money? Which is very aligned with like what I'm like, because I'm like, dude, I make a cool $2,500 a month off music. I'm vibing. I don't need to make $1 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
You let me pay my mortgage and like put food in me and my wife's and our pets' mouths, and I'm happy. You know, I don't need a ton of money. So I think I have a similar reaction to like what Logic had, where I'm like, this is too much, bro. You know, like, I feel like I'd have to like give away half of it, because I'd be like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
But I think that's the thing where our generation and like the generation below us now is getting lost in it, right? Me and Shan don't make $1 million off this. We're lucky enough where we have some sponsors and stuff, and still, that's not even $1 million right there, right?
Yeah.
We do this out of just the love of the people here in Jacksonville, trying to put the story out there, man. Because at the end of the day, like, if this doesn't turn into the Joe Rogan, the whatever it is, right? At the end of the day, I look at this as a cool audio diary. And like, what I think about this is say, like, we get older, me and her have kids, right? And say, knock on wood, I don't go anywhere anytime sooner than I'm supposed to. Then our children will be able to see what their dad was like at 22, 23, 24, and like us going through different situations. Like, we walked our podcast here through, like, me and her were dating when we first started this. Wow. And I was like leaving little like nuggets in there about me like proposing to her. We literally did a podcast the day after the wedding and came here and like talked about it and everything, man. It's just, at the end of the day, this is kind of a cool history of Jacksonville and the people that are here and the people who come and go. You know, that we've had people on here who lived here for a little bit and left. And it's just cool to put this kind of stuff out there and just never know where it goes, man. That's really the main thing.
That's why I was like super grateful when you guys hit me up, because like, this is just, it's a cool platform to be able to come on and like talk about life in general.
Yeah, man.
Because that's my big thing. We could have spent this whole hour not talking about my music once, and I'd be like, cool, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I just like, I don't know. I like, I feel like it kind of gets back to what you're saying about my lyrical content, is like, it's more about the story than it is about the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even like doing the Lupe show, I had to have my boy Mizzy, who got me on the show, Mizzy Raw, he requested certain songs because I was like, all right, I'm going to put together a hype set, like da-da-da-da. He's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, do this song that you know is like super deep. People are going to fuck with it. Do it. You know? And I'm like, okay, I got you. So it's like, it's super cool to see how people react to like the story of it. Cause even if one person, there were probably, I want to say they said like 550 people there, which is like crazy for me.
Hell
like,
yeah,
as a small independent artist who wasn't supposed to be there in general.
Yeah.
Just got a random invite 4 days before.
Really?
Yeah. So I'll tell that story separately, but, to have even like one or two people come up to me afterwards and say they're related is like so cool.
Hell yeah, man. That's freaking awesome. And at the end of the day, that's what we do this for, right? You want to affect someone in some way, shape, or form. Like the reason why I'm pretty open on this show is like, you know, like I've talked about depression on here and about being a man and the pressures of that on top of, you know, being a good husband, trying to provide as much as I possibly can, even though I do look at me and Shannon as teammates, right?
Yeah.
She fills my cup. I fill her cup. Every day I'm not perfect. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know if she expects me to be perfect. Not saying she does in any way, shape, or form.
Perfect for me.
Aww. Anyways.
Get those, what are the cue cards for the audience?
Yeah. Clap.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just like, man, like just doing this, it's just cool. And if I can help someone relate and just let them know that they're not by themselves in some way, shape, or form, because everybody goes through shit, man. Whether I heard this saying, a lot of people said the worst thing that's ever happened to you is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Because that's your experience, right?
Exactly.
And I think it takes a strength to like sit there and listen to other people. Hopefully, you know, you find someone who's been through a similar experience and you can kind of hear what they did, how they worked through it. Maybe it wasn't the perfect way, or maybe it doesn't really work for you, but you can at least try to think about working through the situation, right?
I talk to my wife all the time, and we because we both come from relationships prior to us that like no communication was there. You know what I mean?
Me and her were the same way. Yeah.
So I was very big from the beginning. I was like, if we're not going to talk to each other about things when they happen, this isn't going to work.
100%.
So even today, like I talked to you guys about before the podcast, like I had a panic attack probably 3 hours before I was supposed to come here, and it had nothing to do with this. It was just like something happened that triggered my PTSD. I then dropped a cup of water, and that threw me all the way over the edge, and I just had a full-blown panic attack.
Yeah, man.
And my wife is so good about just being patient with me. We went and laid down. She was like, come here. You know, kind of like, come here. You know?
Yeah.
So she pulls me in close. I'm just sobbing, bro. And like, that's okay, you know? And like you said, growing up, certain situations as a man, like it's not okay to cry. It's not okay to show these emotions, stuff like that. I was fully in that mental state until I met my wife.
Okay.
So it's been like 1.5 years now, almost 2 years. And like in that time frame, I have learned to soften so much about like my emotions and know that it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Even when I went to make that post, the Who Are You post, which even got us to this point, is like I was sitting there with that caption typed out. The video had already been recorded. I edited it, and I couldn't press post. And I was like, why is it so hard to press post on this? And she's like, because you're being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to be vulnerable, but like that's the only way that you're going to impact somebody's life is if you are vulnerable.
Very true.
You know?
No, man, I 100% agree with you. And I like that you were talking about being able to talk with your wife, right? Shannon knows everything about me. The good, the bad, the ugly shit. And she knows my family. She knows situations that I've been through. And if you're married to someone, you have to have that communication. Yeah. I know I get on her nerves. I know for a fact I do. But at the end of the day, being able to have that communication is huge, man. Like, there's a lot of relationships where one person is the lead and they just say, like, this is what it is and you're going to have to get over it.
100%.
And that's not how that shit works.
And my wife and I both come from that. Like, my ex was like that and her ex was like that.
Mine was
like,
too.
That's crazy, you know? And kind of what you were saying, I know for a fact I piss her off sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And she doesn't show it. Like, she's very good about being patient with me.
Same.
Because I'm too goofy.
Yeah.
I grew up in the era of, like, Family Guy and South Park.
100%. Same, man.
Stand-up comedy. And, like, I make some dumb jokes every once in a while to her. And it's just, it's not bad jokes. They're just bad timing.
Yeah.
Where, like, I'll say something and she's like, why would you choose right now to make that joke?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And so I know I get on her nerves, but she's so good about being patient with me. And I think that that's something that I've needed in my life to help me progress as a human being. Like, I feel like I have, from right before I met her, I went through a mental breakdown. I ended up in a mental hospital. I had a plan to kill myself.
Yeah.
And went from that to like now, I was like, dude, I can't even fathom being at that point, you know? Because my whole emotional and mental state is so different.
Yeah, man.
Just having a different person in my life that like fully believes in me as a human.
Yeah.
You know?
It takes that, man. It really does. And like, I was a similar situation, like had suicidal thoughts, had different things. Shannon's also dealt with, you know, watching me try to figure it out a little bit as well, right? Yeah. Like I've always, I don't think I'm a perfectionist, but in some ways I am. Like I try to push very hard on certain things, or, you know, this interview's here, and I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be amazing. This is going to be, you know, 1 million views, blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, something doesn't happen, but at the end of the day, I still put something out there. I put my energy out there. I put my, you know, what I think is, I'm happy with my art, right? Yeah. This is my art. I'm not musically talented. I just have a good knack with talking with people, right? Yeah. But another thing that I've heard as well that's really good for people in relationships, right, is, you know, every day we try to give 100%. But at the end of the day in a relationship, there's some days that she's going to be 80%, I'll be 20%, or I'll be 80%. Yep. She'll be the 20% that day, and you have to be there to pick each other up. Yeah,
I was going to bring that up because I see all these. I feel like sometimes TikTok punches me in my heart.
Same, like, bro. Too much. It catches me sometimes.
I saw like 5 of them in a row that were those videos where it was just like, it was obviously skits and stuff. But it was like 0%, 100%, 80%, 20%. You know, and it's like. That's true, you know, and we don't think about that. And then some days it's going to be 0%, 0%.
Yeah.
And we're both just like, man, fuck, you know. But like at the end of the day, we're like, fuck together. You know what I mean? And like we get through it. And then the next day we may be back to 100, you know, because we need that. We need highs and lows as humans.
If life is flatlined, man, that's not living life, bro. You're going to go up and down. And really the most of where we have grown as people is in those down times. Yeah. Really looking at each other and be like, how are we going to figure this out? How are we going to do this? There's times where I was working 2 jobs. She was working 2 jobs just to pay the bills, man, and just make it through life. And now, like, we're very lucky. We live somewhere nice. We have food in our bellies. We have a roof over our head. We have a cat that we love. And we're lucky as well where we have family members that are very great as well. But it's just, life's a crazy thing, man. And I think a lot of people are trying to get to the destination and then not enjoying the ride to that destination. Because at the end of the day, man, even there's billionaires out there who fucking hate their lives. Yeah. You know, like a lot of people think money is the end of all. It's not. More money, more problems, as the song goes. But to talk a little bit more about the music, right? Obviously, like I said, I love the songs. I love the standing behind it as well and being more lyrical and not just sitting there saying, oh, fuck bitches, get money. You know, like after a while, bro, it's the same repetitive stuff. 100%. And like for me, like growing up, I was like I said, I loved like Kodak Black and all that stuff, but big Post Malone fan. Yeah. I love country music as well. I like music that makes me feel something, right? Yeah. If I'm feeling sad, I want to have a song that makes me feel sad. Or even like Kevin Gates. Like I like a lot of his newer music as well. But so you get into the Lupe Fiasco show. So tell me how that came up, what the experience was like, and everything in between, my man.
So it's crazy. So my boy Mizzy Raw, shout out Mizzy Raw. Shout out Mizzy. He is an insane artist that I don't even want to use the word local. Okay. Because I feel like he's on his way to much, much bigger, much, much better than just being like doing club shows around Jacksonville, in Florida in general. He's amazing. Met him a few years back. He didn't know I'd been inspired by him for a while. Just seeing a local artist do the things that he did, you know, where he's putting himself out there. He's doing his thing. So we became friends over the course of the last like 5 years or so since COVID. We've done a few songs together, and like that was really cool in general. And he hits me up on Tuesday last week, and he goes, hey, bro, you know I'm opening for Lupe on Saturday. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try to come out if I can. And he goes, I might be able to have you get like 10, 15 minutes before me. Are you cool with that? And I'm like, yeah.
100%, yeah.
It's like, I'm the type of person that like, with the way life has been in the past, I'm like, I ain't going to believe shit till it happens. Because I don't want to get my hopes up. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm the type of person that if I get my hopes up and it doesn't happen, I'm going to be like, what did I do wrong?
I understand.
You know? So he's like, all right, I'll know by about noon tomorrow. So coming Wednesday. The show at that point is Saturday. That's what, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days away, right? So my wife and I are at Walmart, like just perusing because we just randomly go in Walmart and look at shit.
Yeah.
And he calls me on Instagram voice call. I'm like, one, you have my number. Where are you calling me? But I guess it was just the first place. But anyways, he calls me and he's like, hey, bro, it's on. And I was like, what? And he tells me that I'm getting the 10 to 15 minutes before Lupe. And I damn near started crying in the middle of Walmart because I was like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's big.
So I had this big, like, shit-eating grin on my face walking around Walmart. I'm like, none of these people know that I'm going to be opening for Lupe Fiasco on Saturday. So we go home, and I'm, like, in the car on the way home, and I call my mom, and I tell her, and she was like, no fucking way. And my mom's very big on, like, not cussing a lot of times. So for her to have that reaction is like, holy shit.
It's big, yeah.
Like, so it's really big because Lupe Fiasco is one of the 3 artists that inspire me to make music, like inspire me to rap. It was Lupe, Ludacris, and Busta Rhymes. Those are the 3 people that, like,
classics. Yeah.
I was like, I listened to those 3 people and I'm like, I can do this. You know what I mean? And so just to get into that position is crazy. And then Missy's like, okay, tomorrow's rehearsal. So Thursday's rehearsal. And I'm like, crazy, cool. Saturday comes along. We have another rehearsal that morning. And then we get to the venue later on and we walk in and we're on the stage at Decca Live. And I'm like, still, I can't believe this is going to happen. You know, I'm still waiting for the other, like, shoe to drop, right?
Is this the biggest performance you've ever had a chance to do?
As far as number in the crowd, no.
Okay.
But artist I'm opening up for, yes.
Okay.
I've done, like, little festival shows and stuff like that, which is super cool. But, like, this meant the most to me from a sentimental standpoint. And I was so nervous because there's people that are going there to see Lupe. Obviously, there's people that are going there to see Mizzy. They don't know who the fuck I am, right? So again, the question comes up: who are you, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I did a pretty good job showing them, but like it was big, and it felt cool to have. I looked up, and I didn't realize you never notice your impact until you see it, right? So like I've been posting on TikTok, like and Instagram, and I've been posting. And when we were at the show, I saw 5 or 6 people in the crowd that I didn't recognize. Like I had some homies there that were like, holy shit, it's Matt. He's on stage. Like these are like friends of mine that even I have songs with. One of them was on a song that I performed that I just did my verses and the hook for. And he was like, dude, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I saw 5 or 6 people that knew the words to my music. And I was like, I don't know you guys. And that's so cool to me.
Yeah.
Like, and they came up to me afterwards and told me how they saw my stuff on TikTok or Instagram and like, saw me at the show and were like, holy shit, I like your music. Sorry, that's my
you're good.
So cool.
My phone vibrating.
Yeah.
So like it was super cool to like have that interaction, and then just people coming up to me afterwards. It was so funny because it's at Decca, which if you guys don't know, Decca Live is like a club type scene. Mm-hmm. They usually do like rave type things.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So like rap show is kind of sort of out of their wheelhouse. So they're like serving drinks. Everybody's I was like higher drunk there, and I have this drunk dude walk up to me. He's like this big country motherfucker, and he walks up to me and he goes, hey man, you guys are great, and I hope you guys have been having fun on tour with Lupe, and I think you guys deserve it, and enjoy the rest of the tour. This dude thought we were on tour. And I was like, that's what I took from that.
Yeah.
I'm like, thank you, one, for coming to the show and enjoying it, and like thinking we were dope artists, thank you for follow, like that's super cool. But also like, holy shit, you think I'm good enough to be on tour with Lupe? That's dope, So it kind of like that show changed my perspective on a lot of things. The next day is when I went to Vic's art studio, and I was going there to like kind of just kick it, Shout
out Vic, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Vic. He was doing his Sunday pop up where he's like, come through, pay what you want for clothing.
Nice.
And I had no money in my pocket, so I was like, are you cool if I just come through, take a look, and like maybe chat it up for a little bit? He's like, yeah, dude, come through. Dude gave me like a 2-hour like stern talking to like a father about myself as an artist, and I was
be more.
Like, oh my god. I was like, I feel inspired. So I went home and I my wife and I made a vision board for me for 2026 and like what I want to achieve. It's my first time ever doing that, which was super cool. And recorded that video because he stumped me. Like he asked me, who are you? And I said, Matt. He's like, okay, what do you do? And I was like, I'm an artist from Jacksonville, Florida. And that was all I had for him. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I don't care. He's like, why should I care? Right. Yeah. And so like he inspired that video, and I posted that video, and this is just from an analytics standpoint in general. It's done better than any music thing I've posted without putting an ad behind it, which is crazy. Because I never thought that like opening up and just talking about me as a person would be enough for people, right?
Yeah.
But people don't buy into music at this age. Like, they buy into the brand, they buy into you as a person. You know, who is, this is going to be a silly statement, but who is the Who Are You podcast? You know, like,
Oh yeah, man.
what do you guys do? Who are you? Why do you care? You know, why should we care about your podcast?
I've worked on that elevator pitch so much. I hope you know.
So it's, and like, I wish you guys could see the outtakes, because the video itself is like a minute. The full video of before I cut it down is like 4.5 minutes of me being like, my name is Matt. No,
that's not right.
That sounds too salesy. What am I doing? Just be you, man. You know, so like, kind of things have just been coming up since then, you know, like opportunities that are popping up. This company hits me up, and it's a buddy of mine's brother, a buddy of mine who like produces for me and like has done records with me. I had no idea his brother makes clothing.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? And so his brother hits me and was like, dude, like, your story aligns with kind of my vision on everything. Like, let's link up, let's talk, da 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 da. And so like a lot of things have come out of the Lupe show, and just the opportunity to meet a legend, talk to him for like a couple minutes, even. Like,
Nice guy.
dude, he's the humblest motherfucker in the world, and it kind of pisses me off, right? So like, we walk in and he does his whole show, he's all hyped, da 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 da. I guess I relate to him on this, but like, I do my show, I'm like, yeah. And then when people come out to talk to me, I'm like, hey man, how are you? You know, just like normal, chill, like, that's just my voice. My wife has to like turn down the radio to talk to me in the car because I'm so quiet. We go into his green room and he daps us up and he's talking to Mizzy, and then he turns to me, he's like, hey man, how are you doing? And I'm like, all right, you're one of my people.
You're my guy, yeah.
So it's cool to like get to talk to somebody like that, especially somebody who's inspired you so much to like make music in general, right? Like, that's like cool, check mark off the list.
Yeah, man.
Like, even if only 2 people showed up for that show, like, I got to meet Lupe Fiasco.
Exactly.
It's crazy, you know?
And you got to perform your art, man.
Yeah, and I got to like impact like a few people's lives, and that's cool to me, you know?
Yeah. What's that feeling like, walking out on stage, performing right before Lupe Fiasco goes on there? Like, what's that feel like?
Nauseous.
I bet. I would probably be the same way, man.
As somebody with like super severe like social anxiety and like stuff like that, it kind of blows my mind that I've chosen the career path that I've chosen.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, the music starts and it's like Matt the person versus Matt the character, right? So Matt the character is on stage performing all these songs, and like, that's awesome, great, hope you guys have an amazing night. Matt the person is like, watch the show, stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here too, I want to watch the show, you know? And like, not in a mean way, but like, dude, I'm nobody, just hang out, you know?
Yeah, man.
So like, they have this barricade thing at the show, which I'm sure they do at most bigger shows, right? Before the stage.
The rail, riding the rail. Yeah.
Which I've never experienced in my life, because I'm like, you know, smaller artist at the time. So I go out on the side. One, coolest thing in the world, these big bouncer dudes, I'm talking like, they make me look like I'm 4'2". You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they are gigantic human beings.
Yeah.
And they're like, I love your shit, man.
Fuck yeah, man.
Awesome. I've got security on my side. So like, all the big bulky security guys are out there, and I'm hanging out on like the stairs down to like the bar area before the barricade. And I keep having people come up to the barricade and like, hey bro, like trying to talk to me during Lupe's set. And I'm like, brother, you're here from him, pay attention to him. You know? But it's so cool that they're coming up to me just to like, hey dude, we love what you do. Like, that's amazing. I'd never heard of you before, which is great, obviously. And like, I didn't know what to expect when you went up there, because everybody automatically is like, he's gonna like sing folk songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, no one knows who this is. What's going on?
Break out the violin.
Yeah, exactly. So when I get up there and I'm like, my song "Okay" is what I opened up with. That was Mizzy's request, which I'm grateful, because the song I was gonna open up with would not have had the same impact.
I understand.
So the song starts, and the song is called "Okay," and it's literally like, it's okay to not be okay. Like, that's kind of the vibe of it, right? So I do that song, and by the end of it, people are like, holy shit, this guy can rap. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing, is like, the impact that the music makes is so cool to see. Like, just getting to talk to people afterwards and hear their stories. Because that's the big thing, right? Is like, I want to share my story, but I want to hear your story more.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the avenue I want to go. I want to be people's like online music therapist. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the vibe.
I think that's the way of doing it, man, and just putting yourself out there. It's hard to do. I was a little weird about it whenever I first started doing the pod. I was like, what are we going to talk about and everything, and trying to come up with the name. And I looked around. Originally, this podcast was going to be called the Florida Man Podcast.
That's wild.
Yeah, but then there was 10,000 of them. And I sat there and I had to sit there and think about what am I interested in? I like people. I love people. I love people's stories because everybody has grown up differently than I have. And, it's cool to be able to pass those stories back and forth and really like kind of show people, hey, maybe you went through that similar situation. And I had to sit there and think about like, who am I? And who are you came to be? And I think it really is a wide open, like there's some people who are a little bit more on the niche side where they like this, like, for example, like OG Sessions, right? Mm-hmm. They talk to a lot of businesses but they have a lot of a music background in it, which they do a great show. Shout out to the boys, Joey and Nick. Yeah. And I think it's big about just leaving it wide open because the show is not about me. That's something I say every single time. It's about the person sitting next to me. Mm-hmm. And I just add my little quibs in there kind of thing. Of course. But I think it's just so cool learning people's stories and like hearing everything that you've gone through and made it to where you are today. And I hope I was able to, bring it full round circle for you to show like your life and everything. And this isn't like a one-time thing, man. Anytime you got something going on and you want to come sit down and talk, bro, we're always big on promoting and sitting down and having conversations with people. Yeah. I do have 2 final questions. Did you have a question you wanted to ask before, Shannon?
No.
All right. So my second to last question is, if anybody is looking to get into music or, starting like putting their art out there or anything like that, what would be one piece of advice you'd give to that person?
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Shia LaBeouf shit.
I love it. Yep.
Do it. Get anything that you can get as far as equipment goes. If you have to go on Facebook Marketplace, you can start with anything. I started on my sister's dad's gaming computer that he had. Like I said, recording off Audacity on a 2-track, and I had my little Snowball Yeti mic. It's way more accessible to get stuff now and way cheaper now.
It is.
But I got Snowball Yeti mic hanging from a closet door with my sister's like pink princess blanket draped over me. Like,
yes, sir.
Dude, nowadays go to Target. Target has a super dope deal where they're like a podcast setup. Mm-hmm. And they have like an audio interface and a microphone and a mic stand. You get that. It's like, I think it's like $200, something like that.
That's not bad at all.
Which is crazy.
That's sick, yeah.
This is not a flex. Believe me, I wish I didn't have to spend this much on a mic. My most recent mic, I spent like $550.
Which mic did you get?
I got a, God, why can't I? Whoa, I just drew a blank on it.
Is it the mic that like Rogan and all them use, Ashores?
No.
Ooh.
Oh, Aston Spirit. Why did I struggle on that?
Aston Spirit.
Yeah, I bought it a few years back.
Okay.
When it first came out, and then kicked myself a year later when they dropped it $200. But it's an Aston Spirit, and it's super great for recording music. Love it. Super great for streaming. Mm-hmm. Super good quality. But like you don't need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, I started with a Snowball Yeti mic, big white ball mic.
Yeah.
And my buddy, when I went over to his house, we'd take it over there. He had a shoebox that he'd fitted out with like egg cartons. You know what I mean?
Make it quiet in there so everything's pure and everything.
And I'd say even if you put something out, or if you have a product and it's not, you haven't learned to mix, you haven't learned to master, because like that's a big thing I'm a proprietor of too, is like go on YouTube, bro. Like
learn, man. It's out there now.
Because I record, I mix, I master, I produce, I shoot the videos, I edit the videos. I do everything. And it's not because like, okay, it's kind of because I'm a perfectionist. I have to be honest with myself. It's not all because I'm a perfectionist, but it's also because like I can't hit somebody up at 2 a.m. when I have an idea. Yep. You know what I mean? I have to just go do it real quick, right? So that goes back to it. Just do it. Like if you're trying to get into the music industry and you're trying to make things happen, you have to believe in yourself first and foremost. And part of that is putting out imperfect products. And I struggle with that. So that's coming from somebody who's working on that himself, because I'm like, oh no, that album I just put out, song number 3 has too much echo. And I'm like, oh no, people are going to hate it. Nobody cares.
They don't even notice.
Like, they're like, I love it. And I'm like, cool. You don't hear the stupid imperfection I hear.
It's the same with me, man. Like all the stuff you see now, this has taken years of just building up and, saving money and working on things. Like this whole studio we put together ourselves.
Look into Afterpay if you can too, because Afterpay is great as well.
What's Afterpay?
Afterpay is they don't entirely, they kind of check your credit. They like check your credit, right? But they offer payment plans that give you a certain amount of money in the thing. That's how I bought my Mac Mini.
Hey, man.
I had like $1,000 available, and I spent $600, I'm paying like $181 every paycheck. You know,
hey man, there's nothing wrong with that.
However you got to get it, man.
Yeah, dude. Like I started off, I have the Rodecaster Pro over here, the original model.
Yeah, it's fantastic too.
It works amazing. Love that freaking thing. And it was the same mic that Shannon has right there. Those are like $30, $40 mics, you know, and they worked. And then we upgraded to Rode and added certain things. What I used to do with the podcast is I would travel to everybody.
Oh, wow.
So I would, like, Shannon got me a backpack. It's over there now where I could fit everything in there. And it just got a little too cumbersome after a time, just carrying around all this stuff with lights and cameras and all that. Yeah. And to be honest, man, everything you see on here, these are PVC things that we cut ourselves from Amazon. These chairs are from Amazon. Yeah. And then that's a IKEA shelf right there. Yeah. But everything else on here is local artists. Like this is John Hawkins, a local artist that we became friends with. Julian Gasca made us those Air Force Ones, just surprised us on the show. Time and Place, a local sunglasses curator here. It's just really people have helped make this studio what it is, and I really enjoy putting stuff that are from people here in Jacksonville. Yeah, get cheese, man. Let me know. I'll throw a hat up there. Let me. I'll wear a hat.
I'll text him.
Hey man, let him know. Let him know. And if he's ever interested in coming on the pod, let him know as well.
100%.
But no, man, like I said, I think you're doing amazing stuff. And like I said, thank you so much for taking the time to stay here with us today. I have another question for you. This one's going to be a little deeper for you there.
Okay.
So anytime it's someone's first time on the show, I always ask them this question at the end. And it is, do you feel successful? And do you do or do not? In what ways?
I feel like I'm approaching what I would deem as successful in music. I feel like I'm successful in my personal life. I've overcome things. I've gotten to a point now where the mental health struggle isn't as like ever present. You know what I mean? So like on a personal level, as a person, yes, I feel successful in the side of emotional and mental stability and just where I'm at in life. Music, I'm not there yet. And like, I'm working towards it. And I feel like in the past, it's going to sound silly, but the past week I've made more progress than I have in the past 6 months because I was so stagnant. So like I'm working towards success.
I like it, man. Hey, I think that's a beautiful way, man. And I love the vibe. I love everything you stand for and everything you're putting out there. Shout out to your wifey. Shout out to the dogs and the cats and everything that you guys got.
Support system.
All the animals.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, it's been an amazing time. We wish you nothing but future success. And like I said, man, it's an open door. Anytime you got something coming on, just shoot me a message. We'd love to have you come back on and everything. And then before we get out of here today, please let everybody know where they can find any of your social media, your music, your streams, all that stuff. Let everybody know.
Yeah, so you can find all of my social medias at Matt Writes Bops. That's TikTok and Instagram, I think, are the two that are most present, that I post on the most. And then Matt Schultz on all streaming platforms. And that's Matt, SCHULTZ. And that's part of the brand as well. I don't have an artist name. That's just me. So if you need to find me, you can find me. I don't care.
I like it. And if someone wants to help support your music or anything you have going on, what is the best way for the listeners and the watchers of the show to help support you?
Honestly, just go on Instagram, drop a comment, and tell me, you know, how you're feeling about the music. I don't need any financial anything like that. Stream the music. We're gonna have some cool opportunities coming up. I've got an EP that we're working on right now that we're not going to streaming platforms with. So there's going to be some more direct ways to support here in the next few months.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. Well, everybody, if you guys are listening or watching this show, please make sure you guys go support him. Let him know that you guys are checking him out from the Who Are You. We love when our listeners and our watchers are reaching out to the people or, you know, commenting, leaving likes, sharing stuff for the people that we were sitting down with. So, like I said, follow, like, subscribe on all the social media, on everything for him. And while you guys are in the liking, subscribing, and following mood, please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe on all of our social media. It's going to be at Who Are You Pod from everything from Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all the normal spots, man. We've been doing this for a while. You guys know where to find us at now. Also, we love that everybody's checking out the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for all your unlimited support. We love that people are commenting, you know, checking out our shorts. The shorts have been blowing up lately, so we're super happy with that. If you guys have not checked us out yet on there, it's going to be Who Are You ? Podcast on there. You guys will be able to find all of our videos, some behind the scenes stuff, all that good stuff, and the DGen Bet sports betting podcast. So make sure you guys check that on there. And then really my last thing is, if you guys are an artist, an entrepreneur, you know, a business owner, athlete, anything, then you feel like you'd be a good fit for the show, either shoot me a DM on the social media or you can email me. It's going to be whoareyoupod@yahoo.com, and maybe we'll have you guys on a future episode. But as I say every single week, y'all, thank you so much for checking us out, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.